Starlink announced that in the API for the routers, the gRPC API, they are taking away the location stuff, and they're right to. So the interesting thing is you can go see the latency that they report, and it's always lower than what Speedify reports. It was in the 20s, now it's 38. But Speedify is seeing 47 milliseconds of latency.
Look how steady it is compared to a cellular device.
Yeah, it's steady. That's right. Starlink's latency is pretty good. It's in the 20s. And the reason is that they are just pinging through Speedify to like the first router at the base station. It's not all the way to the internet. You'll never get a ping as low as what they show you. SpaceX, Starlink, they now have more than 10,000 satellites.
That's insane to even think about.
They have twice as many satellites as everyone else put together. So latency is super low there. But when you go to geosynchronous orbit, you only need 3 satellites to cover the whole world. But the latency is terrible. We typically see 850 millisecond latency. The low Earth orbit ones like Starlink, actually they're moving from 550 kilometers up above the surface down to just 480. Clips another half second off the latency, and it makes the beams tighter. The number of people sharing each satellite with you goes down.
Yes, that's great.
The way location works, every one of these satellite dishes has a super accurate GPS antenna. And by default, if somebody like us connects to it, it won't tell us your location. But you can go to Starlink and say, turn on GPS location on my router. And if you did that, then computers on your local network could ask for your GPS location and get it. Turns out that is not fine-grained enough security. You turn it on, say your Starlink app can show you where you are. And now web pages that your kids open can potentially connect, pull your exact location down to a couple meters.
Scary stuff.
We've never used it. Nowhere in here, if you look, does it show your GPS location. I once wrote a Python program to see if it worked and was able to pull the exact location of our dishes on the roof. So Starlink has taken that away, right to take that away, and it doesn't affect us at all because we never used it because it was creepy, and we try not to do creepy things here. So Mike, you want to tell us about what is this Starlink API that I'm talking about?
Sure. Those of you familiar with web services, Starlink uses a service called gRPC. Basically, it was RPC, which is remote procedure calls, which is a cheap way to do things online. And then Google kind of took it over. The G kind of stands loosely for Google, but it's kind of recursive in the name. So every Starlink is running these gRPC servers. And what that is going to do for anybody that wants to use it, it's a really fast option to talk to your router, basically. It's built on protocol buffers. If you guys are familiar with JSON or XML, it's a really, really small version to communicate rather than something bulky like JSON and XML. To use the API, Alex, get a little more detail. We had to scour the internet, make some calls to the Starlink router itself to kind of see what the schema is. So once we see the schema, you kind of decide, what do we want? What does Speedify want to use in its API to talk to the router? So we query the Starlink API, we get the schema back that it's on the router, and then we kind of craft our own protobuf headers. And then in Speedify, we use C++, so we have a protobuf compiler that compiles it to C++. We can make those calls back and forth on the network. What's really, really cool is that it's built on top of HTTP2, which means it's super fast. And when you have this minuscule data and serial data talking over a local network, I mean, your Starlink is rapid firing. So it's really great for real-time stats, and that's what Speedify is doing here. So you could count on the data being fast, reliable, and defined.
Yeah, so all those stats that I showed in Starlink are coming back over that. We're asking it to give us the stats, and it gives us lots, including, that we've been cut off for using too much data. Again. So it also tells us all the alerts. This is the stats. There is something like 15 things that a Starlink can announce went wrong. It can tell you that it has a low signal to noise ratio. It can tell you that it's overheating. It can tell you that the Ethernet cable or adapter you're using is not fast enough to keep up with it. So all of those too, we now capture and will show in Speedify. So you'll get a red banner saying Starlink 2 overheating. Uh-oh. Starlink hasn't, as far as I know, really said that everyone else can use it.
Not at all.
But, official partners are using it. There's nothing trying to stop us.
No.
They actually specifically announced, whoa, we are taking away the location stuff. And yeah, you should take away location stuff. Right now, Starlink kind of stands alone, and I don't expect it to last. LEO is coming. They said they were launching in July, but they are far short of where they meant to be with satellites. So I don't know if they're launching, if they're not launching. They really got tangled up. The Blue Origin mishap, where Blue Origin failed to get that satellite into the right orbit. The FAA has grounded the Blue Origin New Glenn rocket until the issue is fully explained, fully fixed
That could take a long
to
time.
the FAA's approval. This happened to Blue Origin once before. They got it done in 2.5 months. They got the FAA convinced they'd found and fixed the problem, whatever that problem was. Their goal was 1,600 satellites by the end of July. Wow. I think they're at 260 satellites. LEO says they're going to support 1 gigabit speeds. I saw in person once one of the dishes. It is the size of 2 Starlink dishes side by side. Let's look at Speedify 16.6, the latest version of Speedify. So we are connected to a Starlink, which we beat to death. We used so much data on this thing, we are now rate limited. Oops. And we dismissed the alert about it. But that's why backup, the automatic priority, which decides how much to use in given internet connection, has switched it to backup. Because Speedify has detected that this Starlink is rate limiting us. So when you scroll down, you get Starlink stats. And if you click expand, you'll see these are all of the stats that Starlink makes available to us with their API. So these high-level ones, how much download, upload, latency, uptime, how long has it been since it last rebooted, how much is obstructed. It shows you the exact angle it's tilted, which way Starlink says it should be tilted. It says what kind of plan you're on, whether or not you're roaming. Here you can see the overage limits.
Out of data.
That's Starlink telling us you are out of data. You are being slowed down for using it too much. So the thing is, one may say, but aren't all these features in the Starlink app already?
Yes.
Sort of. The Starlink app can only connect to one Starlink. If you have 2 Starlinks, it's always going to connect to one of them. It cannot connect to the other. There's no way to tell which one to connect to. They try to grab the same IP address. You can't put 2 Starlinks on the same network unless you put Speedify on it. So Speedify will list however many Starlinks you have. You can monitor, manage, and control all of them at once. And then there's the hardware section. And then you get to start dish alignment. So this is a neat little thing we have built to help you align your dish. There's 2 dots here. One, the direction that Starlink says your dish should be pointed, and the other one is the way my dish is pointed. And they're basically on top of each other. So alignment looks good. But if they were off, this wizard would guide you through, stop pointing south, you should be pointing north. You should turn it 75 degrees or whatever. And if you're doing this on a ladder, there's an audio tracking feature where it makes little pinging noises. So you can tell as you get closer and closer, the little sonar sounds. There's a lot more Starlink stuff coming. I think there's going to be another release, something like this week, maybe beginning next week, with more cool stuff. I think there's going to be another release after that, at which point Speedify will have everything that Starlink exposes properly used. You will discover the second that Amazon Leo is out that I will be completely obsessed with Amazon Leo. Don't imagine that this is me being some kind of fanboy. As soon as I can get my hands on the Leo stuff, I am going to be living and breathing Leo for 3 months, and then we'll have old Leo stuff supported. It's going to be awesome. In conclusion, I want you to subscribe for more tech talks like this.